What's up, Ian from Powerhouse Miniatures. This is a Warhammer Quest, or Warhammer Age of Sigmar showcase video for the Darkoath Chieftan. So this guy was originally released with Silver Tower, and it was one of the characters in there, and now they released him separately. So you can buy this one. There's like a gun, there's a Dark Elf miniature that's really, really nice. And a few of the others they released as separate clan packs, and this is one of them. So the customer is going to use it for, I think you mentioned like Dungeons and Dragons, like RPG character basically. So I've painted it up to like close to my best level basically. It's rare I would do spend anything, you know, anywhere quite as long on a single miniature, but I am trying to sort of do that a bit more often, like paint less miniatures to a higher standard, you know what I mean? And it seems that a lot of the top guys eventually transition from commission painting into doing the higher level stuff anyway, so that's on the radar. And then with a couple of painting competitions in April, this Salute and then Golden Demon, and I'm looking forward to entering both of those. So look, I've done a few miniatures just lately that have been like good practice for that, basically. So that's pretty much it. So the miniature itself, I copied the box art, just in terms of the basic colour schemes, and I followed the box art quite closely, to be honest. I assembled him with the Sangor head as opposed to the axe in his left arm as well. And other than that, that's the only real option in the box. Now the miniature is amazing, like one of the best ones. I'll zoom in, and it's got this cheeky little facial expression as well. He's like smirking at one side, and he's like heads down and stuff like that. Looks really good. So pretty much just following the heavy metal style, like base wash, highlight, stuff like that. This one, to make sure that everything was as strong as possible, I did about 5 different base coats, about 5 layers in total, just to keep going. And then by the 3rd or 4th layer, the colour's really strong. And then just another one, just to make sure, sort of thing. I think if you do too many, like if you do too many thick layers, you can destroy the details, obviously. So I didn't want to do too many. Like, there is a balance. And then the highlighting and things like that. Again, excuse me. If you look at the box art on the clan pack, and again any of the images online, you can pretty much tell what to paint and where, and you can see where they've done the highlights and the edge highlights and things like that. Just a case of being neat and consistent and stuff. Yes, and in the grand scheme of things, like you just copy the box, like. You can learn a lot from doing that, like the Slambo miniature, the Exalted Champion. I forget when it came out now, but there's like a special release miniature, a bit like Canoness Viridian for the Sisters of Battle. And the box art itself was green, and you could see where the person had painted light and dark really, really clearly, because it's obviously like a big, high def, really beautiful image of the miniature, and the miniature's like you just perfectly painted basically. And by copying that, you can pick up. You can see where they've done the colours and where they've done the highlights and things like that. So similar situation with this one. I'll turn it around a little bit so you can just get an idea. Yeah, like I said, when you get the base coat right, if you get a really, really solid base coat and a good wash layer, and again there's a balance to that. When you don't want it straight out of the pot, but you only want to thin it a little bit. And yeah, we've got like a really strong, rich colour, like the red in particular came out really well, and that was corn red. So you can see on the back of the cloak there as well, or the was it a loincloth sort of a thing. Yeah, that was corn red, and then Mephiston red, and then Evil Sun scarlet, and then edge highlight was Wild Rider red. So I'm really pleased with it. Let's have a look at the face actually, because you can see. So he's got like a little smirk. This looks really cool. But altogether, just yeah, awesome, absolutely awesome. The sculpt's beautiful. It's really good for Warhammer Quest or any RPG, for that matter. You can play it for D&D and stuff like that. It's really good to paint. It's quite simple to paint. And the pose of the miniature itself doesn't get in the way or anything like that. It's plastic and not fine cast, which means that for painting in particular, there's just less chance you're getting a crap cast or bubbles or anything like that. Even though that's not a problem sometimes, it is quite frustrating. Or sometimes, a bit like with Forge World miniatures, you're sort of willing to live with a few mould lines and stuff like that, because it's obviously extremely difficult to get rid of them all. And yeah, so it's a plastic, which is good. That's another positive. You do get the little choice of the weapon, which is kind of nice as well. So if you want, you can have an axe and a sword, which looks pretty cool. But in this one, he's got, I think it's one of those Zangors for Zinch, like a little bird thing with a horn on it. And that is pretty much it. They are quite expensive, I've got to say. The clan pack was 15 quid, I think. And I buy mine from elementgames.com, so it's like 12 quid, 20% off, which sounds about right. But if it is 15, that's quite expensive, I guess, if that's going to be a thing. I don't like to moan about it, but like the cost of games at miniatures is a bit of a negative, so I don't know, you can harp on about that forever. And that's it, really liked it. So there's more HD pictures on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/powerhouseminiatures, and then there's loads of videos on this YouTube channel, loads of little showcase videos and reviews and stuff like that. So as always, cheers for watching.